Can you just sort of describe the feeling, obviously going into the last game of the year, but not really being in your own destiny of finals?
Yeah, it's not the outcome that we really wanted in terms of relying on other teams to win in order for us to make the finals. But look, we've got plenty to play for, and Adelaide are a quality opposition, and if we come away with a win, then who knows what the outcome will be. But as I said, it's not really the greatest position to be in, relying on other teams in order for us to try and make finals. So we've got plenty to play for, and it's the last game at Subiaco, so I'm sure the fans will want a quality game.
Have you done the maths, or have you sort of seen what needs to unfold for you to get there?
Oh yeah, I think most of the boys know what we need and sort of to get into the eight, and yeah, look, it's one of those ones where I said, we don't want to be relying on other teams, and I think Freo have to beat Essendon for us to get up, and I think there might be a couple other games as well that might be involved. So it's not a good position to be in, but I suppose that's how our season has been in the end, and yeah, it's not a good position to be in, but we'll have to wait and see.
We want to know on Sunday, so Freo play Essendon a couple of hours before you guys. Will you want to know the result of that game before this match? Would you rather not have any idea about whether you're alive or not?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't like to have any idea at all. Purely based on the fact that regardless of that result, I'd still go in the game wanting the win. I'm a pretty competitive bloke and I hate losing, and yeah, to come away, after the game before us, thinking about and knowing the outcome, might have a bit of a negative effect if they do win, but in the end I still would like to win and send the season off on a good note.
So you looking back to the Gold Coast game in 2014 when Richmond what's the one for Cameron? You were done before that game started. It had a bit of a flat element to it. You learned from that in terms of not wanting to know. Is that why you wouldn't want to know?
Oh, we still went out and won that game, I'm pretty sure. So we'll probably be having the same sort of feeling of going out and trying to win, regardless of the outcome of the Essendon game or something like that as well. So, yeah, look, it's one of those things that we'll just have to wait and see, and it's a crap position to be in, but I suppose that's the way how it all unfolds, and we've got ourselves to blame in terms of dropping games that we probably should have won throughout the season.
When you say you've got yourselves to blame, is there an overriding emotion? Is it frustration? You've let some games slip. What's sort of the overriding one at the moment?
Oh, it's probably a little bit of frustration, yeah, knowing that I think we're the team that's second for time in front, and then to lose in the dying stages of a fair few games, it is quite frustrating. But as I said before, we've only got ourselves to blame.
Do you still believe, Yowie? I mean, it's a pretty daunting task against the Crows this week. Is the morale taking a hit amongst the group, and do the guys still feel like they have one more effort in them this week? You might need to beat the Crows by 6 or 7 goals potentially to make finals. Well,
yeah, if we do that and we beat the Crows and we do end up getting in the finals, touch wood, but we'll going pretty confident into the final series, knowing that we've taken it up to GWS and they sort of only got away from us in the last dying stages of the game last week, and to beat Adelaide at home, it's pretty good. So we'll go in pretty confident going into the finals if that does happen. But yeah, it's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see.
What's the morale like amongst the group after the weekend?
Oh, it's sort of hard to say. All the boys are pretty up and about and ready for the fight this week. So yeah, it's one of those ones where, as I said, who knows what's going to happen throughout the week, and some games unfolding, and whether or not that might dent in the morale. But I don't think it will. We'll go into the game trying to win, and there's plenty on the line.
Elliot, should the results earlier in the round go your way, obviously needing to beat Adelaide by a fair bit, do you think Simo will just say, right, it's all out attack, we need to go out there and take the Crows on, there's no point just trying to stifle them?
Oh, regardless of the outcome, whether or not that we do have an opportunity or we don't, I think that's probably the message that Simo will have. Even if the season has probably sort of come to an end for us, I think that'll be the message that Simo will come, and just for us to try and have a crack and finish the season on a good note, and play the last game at Subiaco most likely, and give the fans something that they can sort of look forward to.
The belief, as you mentioned before, the belief element, when you know that you haven't been running games that well, what's it like a three-quarter time knowing that you're in the same position nearly every single week and you know what's coming?
Oh, I don't think it's what's coming in terms of that. I think we're going to try and, in the last quarters, it's probably one of those ones where, the season we have had plenty of games where teams have overrun us in the last quarter, but, it's one of those things that we've been working on, and hopefully that this week it can sort of, the switch can sort of, change, and everything can fall into our hands, and, we can win one of those tight games in the last quarter. I think we're still pretty confident going in the last, and, if we are in front, then we'll still have plenty of confidence that we can finish off the game quite well.
You said earlier about that stat where I think you're the second team in the comp in terms of leading. Why is it that the club just sort of stops, the team stops at that sort of certain period?
I think it's a multiple of a couple of things, and we've sort of looked at it behind closed doors, and we're trying to rectify and change a couple of things here and there, but it's a couple of things that I'd probably like to keep behind closed doors at this stage, and as I said, all I can say is that we've been working on it, and we've been trying different things, and hopefully that they can come into fruition in the last quarter.
How have you seen your year personally this year? Last year probably down a bit on where you'd want to be. This year you seem to come back up to sort of level you'd like to be. Where are you going? What are you seeing from this year and looking into next year as well?
Looking into next year is probably a little bit too far at this stage. Still got one more game to play, and maybe more if things fall into our hands. But compared to last year, obviously I was pretty frustrated in my performance and how it sort of all unfolded. So I had a pretty strong pre-season and knew that certain things had to change in terms of my preparation and how I wanted to go about and how I wanted to be known as a footballer. So I definitely worked hard over the pre-season, and I'm just glad that all the hard work that I put into the pre-season has helped me play a pretty good sort of season throughout, and a consistent one, which is one of the things that I really wanted to work on as a player.
Do you enjoy your battle with Toby Green?
It was a good battle, yeah. It was. He's one of those, dangerous players, dangerous forward for them, and can change a game on its head. So I was always sort of on my toes, and to play on one of the best players in the game, pretty much, it's one of those sort of good, strong battles that you look forward to as a footballer. And I'm a pretty competitive type of person, and I was glad that it was a pretty strong, hard-fought battle. I thought that, there was elements of my game that I wanted to stick by, and he had plenty of strong attributes as well. So it was sort of, I had to work on what my strengths were, and he also tried to play on what his strengths were. So I thought it was a pretty good battle.
Looking through Adelaide's lineup, is there any one you've identified that you'd like to get a crack at this week?
Not at this stage. I haven't sort of looked at that and gone into that too far at this stage. I'll probably do that in the coming days.
Did you watch Adelaide Sydney?
I saw a bit of it, yeah. I generally sort of like to watch a half a game or something like that. Otherwise, I get too worked up, and I'll get too sort of frustrated, or I'll get too sort of too worked up. And it looked like a pretty good, hard-fought game, and I'm sure Adelaide will be coming out with plenty of play on the line, obviously. So so do we. So it's going to be a pretty hard-fought battle on the weekend.
Team for a reason. I'm saying their scoring is amazing. Is it a case of trying to get more than them, or will you try to close it down? Do you think?
It's probably a little bit of both. Yeah, we'll try and sort of halt their scoring, but we'll also try and score ourselves. So it's one of those ones where we'll have to assess what we want to do throughout the week, and that'll be in a couple of days' time.
And then 2015 obviously reached the grand final. Did that come a little bit early for the group? Your view on that, because you've obviously gone the grand final, elimination final, and you might be in elimination final again if things go well, but every chance you'll miss the finals as well. Did that come too early for the group? And is the group good enough at the moment to match it with those top sides?
Oh, look, I think we are. Yeah, I think we are. Strong enough to be able to match it to the top teams. It's just that, as I said before, that we've fallen away in the dying stages of the last quarter. So our consistency has probably been the one where we're in the position where we are on the ladder now, and we probably deserve it. So look, I'm confident that we can take it to the top teams. And as you saw last week against GWS, we only sort of lost the game in the last 5 minutes. So hopefully that things will click and we can sort of rectify our last quarters. But I'm pretty confident in the group.
How about the Freo Western game? Do you hang much, or you had on much hope there, given the Dockers have lost 2 in a row by 104 points? I mean, they're crosstown rivals. They're probably not looking at it thinking they want to do you a favour, are they?
Yeah, but look, no team likes to be sort of beaten, in a couple of weeks by, almost close to 100 points, as you said. So I'm sure they're going to come out and Ross is going to probably put a rocket up them, and they probably want to finish the season off on a good note, and yeah, they've probably got plenty to play for. So hopefully that they can do us a favour, but yeah, it's one of those outcomes where we'll have to wait and see.
First time in your life you're broken Freo.
Well, it's not the first time in my life. I was a mad docker growing up, so it's funny how things work out. But yeah, look, I think we'll sort of be relying on Freo a little bit, which is not the position that we want to be in. But I suppose that's how that's all unfolded.
We a left field question, but this is the last game here for you guys, and then moving on to a new work environment. Really, does that at all any sort of emotional, sort of weird feeling come into that? Saying goodbye to this venue, the change rooms, the sort of what you've got used to here?
I think we've probably got another year until we go out to the Lathlane facilities. So we'll still probably be training and hanging around Subi. So I think that's probably a question for next year. I think not being able to play on Subi and having grown up watching a lot of football on Subi will be pretty hard. It'll be a little bit different, a little bit of a sort of weird feeling at the end of the game on Sunday. So it'd be sad to say goodbye to Subi, but in terms of playing. But I'm sure that we're still here for another year. So until we sort of move on from here and go to the Lathlane facilities and start playing footy at the new stadium, then it might hit home a little bit.